and welcome to another Ryan Sports Reviews. Tonight, I am predicting the 2020 Concacaf League from preliminary round to round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, final, and the 6 teams who will be going on to the 2021 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League from the Concacaf League this year. As I said, I reacted to the draw 2 days ago on Tuesday. Today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 3 days ago, 2 days, 3 days. Posted it on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. 2 days ago. Yeah, I guess that would be right. I can't do math. I only talk about football. So allow me. So first, we will predict the preliminary round of the 2020 Scotiabank CONCACAF League, starting off with preliminary round 1, FAS versus Managua. I think Managua will take this tie. I don't think either team is that big of a club, but I think Managua is a bigger club than FAS. I think they're a better team all around. I don't care that they're away because with COVID, no fans, or barely any fans, depending on how. I think Managua takes this tie and moves on to the round of 16. Preliminary round 2, Alajuelense versus Cibao. I think this is a walkover, okay? I think Alajuelense is a way better team than Cibao. Alajuelense is an amazing Costa Rican team. Cibao, they're not the best team. I don't think they could bring a fight, but the good thing about one-leg ties is that anything can happen. Especially in a one-leg tie. In a two-leg tie, I think the law of averages would work out. That's the thing that saves Cibao, but I don't think it helps them. I think Alajuelense will go through to the round of 16. Preliminary round 3. Municipal Limeno versus Forge FC. I think Forge has this. This is the easiest draw they could have gotten. The whole thing. Not just this game. I think Forge is good enough to beat Municipal. I don't think Municipal is as good as Antigua was last year, and Antigua pushed Forge to the limit, but they still got over it. And hell, they didn't do so bad against Olympia, but they did fall apart away at San Pedro Sula. So I think Forge has the experience to win this tie, do what they have to do, even away, and go through to the round of 16. I don't think Limeno is good enough to stop them. So you see that. Preliminary round 4, Club Atletico Independiente de la Chorrera versus Antigua GFC. I think Independiente goes through. Independiente are giant killers. They beat Toronto in 2019. They nearly beat Kansas City until they fell apart in the last 10 minutes at Children's Mercy Park. They did amazing last year's CONCACAF League, only losing to the eventual champions Saprissa. I think they have this. The team is mostly returned except Brownie, and I guarantee you they'll bring back Brownie before Champions League, so January-wise. I think he'll fail in Europe. I really do. So, he'll be back. They're returning most of the same team, same manager. Players like Guerra and Abdiel Ayarza and Romy Shaivi. Yeah. I think they're probably going to get through and do what they got to do against Antigua, especially it being at home at Miquita Sanchez. I think they have this. Preliminary round 5, Arca High versus Verdes. As I said in the the reaction video, you're scraping the bottom of the barrel with this tie. And they both aren't great teams. I looked into them and I'm like, really? Really? They're not that great. But Verdes is at least still good in Belize right now. Arca High has fell off a cliff. So Verdes goes through on form. I think form-wise they'll go through. But if Arca High goes through, it isn't really an upset because you have 2 bad teams playing each other. Now, if you're an Arca High or Verdes fan, I'm sorry for saying that, but the eye test, neither of them pass it. Preliminary round 6, Motagua versus Comunicaciones. The runners-up versus the team that pushed Club America to the limit in the Champions League. I think Motagua. I think they will win the Battle of the Giants. I think Motagua will do what they have to do. They will play amazingly, and they will fight for every inch and every goal, and they will go through, especially at home. Motagua goes through the round of 16. Now, predictions for the proper Scotiabank Concacaf League starting at the round of 16, starting at the first quartile, 1 and 2. Round of 16-1, Deportivo Saprissa versus Municipal. I think Saprissa goes through. Municipal of Guatemala, by the way. Saprissa goes through. They are your champions. They'll show why they're your champions. I think they go through. Next up, Marathon versus Club Atletico Independiente. I think Club Atletico Independiente is a way better club than Marathon. If they're playing away, I still don't care. As I said, away factor doesn't matter this year. Kai has the better team. They've killed Giants in Concacaf. I have to say, returning the same team and killing Giants, Marathon ain't nothing. Club Atletico Independiente go to the quarterfinals. 3 and 4. 16-3. Round of 16-3. Tauro versus Forge. I think Forge beats Tauro. I really do. I think Forge could beat a Panamanian team. I don't think Panamanian teams are the best. Now, I don't think Tauro is as good as Independiente. Independiente has a team with belief. Tauro, the last time they were in the Champions League, got slapped out. I don't think the same year Toronto was there. I don't think they have belief. Forge has belief. They know they could do it. Tauro is no Olympia. They know they could do it. So, Forge goes through on sheer will. And Mo Babuli and Paulo Sabak and Kyle Becker. And maybe another piss missile from Maxime Tissot. Probably not going to happen, but let me dream. That was amazing. Round of 16-4, Waterhouse versus Verdez. I think Verdez goes through. I really do. Because I think they'll be emboldened by going through the preliminary round. They'll take that win as lift. Waterhouse isn't a great Jamaican team. They're not the best. It's not like they're... Who was the one that was in CONCACAF? Who played Cruz Azul? The one who played Cruz Azul. Now, they're good. Portmore United. There we go. Portmore United. I don't know why I drew a blank. There you go. I do think, without a shadow of a doubt, I think Verdez is just a little bit better, but you're still scraping the bottom of the barrel here. That's the worst round of 16 tie. Now, on to the other half of the bracket. Alianza versus Motagua. I think Alianza goes through because Alianza has taken Monterrey to the limit. Motagua, they may be runners-up, but they haven't done anything to show me that they could beat a team who has taken teams like Monterrey and Tigres to the limit. Alianza goes through. Second match of the round of 16 on the other half, Olympia versus Managua. I think Olympia is going through because Olympia is Olympia. They are the biggest team in this tournament and one of the bigger teams in CONCACAF in Central America. Well, the biggest Central American team. If you could nearly beat Montreal, if you beat Montreal in the first leg, and as it stands, if they go back to the Champions League this year, they could still beat Montreal. That tells me you probably have a good chance of going through. Number 3 in the other half, San Francisco FC versus Alajuelense. I think Alajuelense goes through. San Francisco is not a great team. It's kind of like the Sabal tie. Alajuelense should beat them. I know it's a one-game tie, but they should beat them. They should do their job and get through. Now, finally, Herediano versus Real Esteli. I think Herediano goes through. Being at home, being the better team, being a team who has Champions League experience, goes far when you need it to. So Herediano goes through. Now the quarterfinals. Saprissa versus Club Atletico Independiente. I think Independiente get their revenge. They know how to beat them. They know how to counter them. And it normally doesn't seem like a CONCACAF League champion always repeats. They normally don't. So I'm going to say that curse lives on. Club Atletico Independiente go through the semifinals on the first half of the bracket. Then, Forge FC versus Verdez. As I said, easy draw. Forge should beat Verdez. do what they need to do in Belize and Tim Hortons Field. Get them out. Go to the semifinals, because the first round with 2-leg ties is the quarterfinals. And Forge will go to the semifinals, and they will qualify for the Concacaf League. Alianza versus Olympia. I think Olympia will go through. I think Olympia is just too much for Alianza. I think Olympia, using the knowledge that they could beat any team, they're not afraid of nobody. They're not afraid of Mexican teams. They're not afraid of U.S. teams. They're not afraid of anybody. I think they're great. Benguche, Bankston, that team, yeah, they'll go through. Fourth semi or quarterfinal. Alajuelense versus Herediano Alajuelense. This would be the hardest tie for Alajuelense yet, but I still think they go through. They're playing at home in the second leg. They'll get what they need in the away leg. They'll do what they have to do in the second leg, and they go through. Simple as. Semifinals. Club Atletico Independiente versus Forge. I think Forge gets it done. I think Forge does what Toronto couldn't. They're not selling their two best players as it stands. Forge is an amazing football club, and they know how to beat teams, and Kai is no Olympia. They have beaten lower teams. They have beaten teams on that level. Kai is the level of, I'd say, Antigua. A little bit higher than Antigua, but I think Forge could do it. They've been on a roll. They'll still be on a roll. They may have to play the second leg away at Estadio Agustin Maquita Sanchez, but having the first leg at Tim Hortons for them probably is better, if I'm being completely honest. I think that gives them actually a little bit more of an advantage than what you'd think. Then, the second semifinal, Olympia versus Alajuelense. Alajuelense's run ends here. They don't look as dominant. They get beat by a team who is better than them, but Alajuelense would still go to the Champions League. Olympia does what they're supposed to do. They go to the final. So the final in January will be a revenge match from the round of 16 of last year. Forge FC versus CD Olympia. And Olympia wins. Now, do I think it'll be a 5-1 aggregate? No. Or a 4-1, no, a 4-2 aggregate, actually. Yeah. 4-2 aggregate. Sorry, I was thinking about the other Canadian team that lost in a Concacaf Champions, or a tournament last year. Not Forge. They lost 4-2 on aggregate. But yeah. I think it'll be more like 3-2 or 2-2 on away goals. I think Forge will get 2 at home, but Olympia will get 1 away at Tim Hortons. And even if Forge score 1 away, I think it could be 3-3 on away goals. But I think it's going to be very close. I don't think Forge is going to look horrible by any means. I think they'll learn a lesson. But the fact that the second leg is still away, it's just, I think it's a little bit testy. I think it's something that just won't go their way. But they will fight for every minute that tie goes, and they will prove that they are better than they were last year. But they still go to the Champions League, so that's great. So the 6 teams from ascending order that will make the 2021 Scotiabank Concacaf Champions League: CS Herediano, Deportivo Saprissa, the 2 best losing quarterfinalists. The losing semifinalists: Club Atletico Independiente de la Chorrera and Alajuelense. The runner-up, Forge FC, and the champion of the 2020 Scotiabank Concacaf League, CD Olympia. So there are my predictions for this league. One last message, if you would like to. The donation link for the Lebanon Red Cross is still in the description below if you would like to donate to help make the world a better place after that horrible explosion in Beirut. Let's help the people of Beirut and Lebanon. Let's help make the world a better place. If you like this video, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell all your friends. Tomorrow, I'm reviewing Mississippi State versus LSU. I talk about both types of football, real football and gridiron. Hail State, let's go. I'm Ryan and I'm out. Peace.